What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel, check out the content. And in this episode, man, I'm going to be discussing Shedeur and Shiloh Sanders and what I think is has really affected their career. And I think just to get right into it, I think the fact that they grew up in a home where like with privilege that really affected their career, right? The fact that they have coming into the NFL, both of these guys realized that they had options. If it didn't work out in the NFL, they could do other things and still be okay, right? And so and you kind of I don't know if people could have seen this really coming. Like if you've seen it throughout their college careers, you could see that these guys were confident, entitled, and a little bit and kind of cocky, which I guess there's nothing wrong if you can back it up, right? But when you coming into the NFL, you coming into any professional league, people who are going to be coaching you and people who are going to potentially have some type of like authority where you're concerned, they don't like to see that. And the reason why they don't like to see that is because most people can't lead or coach unless they have some type of leverage over you, unless they feel like they can punish you in some way, right? And they can hold like that's the whole like as far as like the any league, NBA, NFL, once they when they start giving out fines and stuff like that, they know that they can get your attention with, like hitting you with like monetary fines or suspension and stuff like that. But when you have kids who are coming in the league who are already rich, and no matter what you do, you can't really affect them financially, then that's different. Like that creates some resentment from the higher ups because they don't know how to motivate you. They don't know how to inspire you. They don't know how to like what makes you tick besides, like having a type of leverage where they'll be able to tax you financially. And some people don't even want to deal with trying to figure out like what motivates you or what makes you tick, right? Because it's just so much work that goes into that, like getting to know a person and finding out like what motivates them. The quicker way would be to, like I said, just have some type of leverage, be in a position where as though they could cut you or fine you or something like that. But when you're dealing with kids like Shedeur and Shiloh Sanders, that really won't come into play because they're coming from wealthy backgrounds. And so I think that's part of what played into like Shedeur Sanders not going until the fifth round. I think that there was an effort there to try and humble Shedeur Sanders and Shiloh also. They wanted to humble both of these guys, but it's not going to work, right? Now, with that being said, when you have kids who are coming into a professional league and they are as confident and a little bit cocky as these guys are, and they understand that they have options, that's I think it's a good thing. I mean, it's a double-edged sword, right? On the one side, you know that these kids understand that no matter what happens in the NFL, they're gonna be okay. And so that's good. But on the other side, will these guys work as hard as somebody who wants to be like you if you want to be a great if even one of these guys wanted to be a great NFL player, would they work hard like that, knowing that they're already secure, they already have that safety net? And from a fan standpoint, you you want to see superstars who are going to work like that. You in this day and age of like people who are famous for doing nothing just for social media, you don't on a football field or the basketball court, baseball, whatever the professional, you don't want to see a guy who's famous just for being famous. You want to see somebody who just put everything into their sport. And I don't know if these guys, they're not, neither one of them are really blessed like their father with that athleticism and that speed. So would they work hard on the field like somebody like a would he especially a Shedeur, like somebody like a Tom Brady? Like would he dedicate himself to the sport like Tom Brady and just be like, like study film and just have a one track mind and be all about the sport. And that really go for both of these guys. Like would these guys be able to dedicate themselves like that? Because other than that, other than somebody who goes all out and dedicate themselves like that, then they're just a regular guy, like another guy, especially at the quarterback position. You want somebody at that quarterback position that's just fanatical about this sport. If you want to be a great, you're gonna have to be like Joe Montana or Tom Brady or or even like Patrick Mahomes and what's the other guy and Lamar Jackson, like somebody who is just like really dedicated to the sport. But because you can't be, in my opinion, you can't be just another guy at that quarterback position. And same thing probably go for Shiloh. Like you can't be just another guy and you were raised by Deion Sanders because people have so much, they have a higher expectation, number one. Then number two, if you don't show up and show out, then people are going to criticize that. And so I think that with these guys, Shiloh and Shador having options like they had, I think it kind of really stunted their growth because I don't think that they will, because they have that safety net to fall back on. I don't think they're going to push themselves like somebody who came from like humble beginnings and humble means would be hungry like that. They don't possess that, in my opinion. Like, and don't get me wrong, like both of these guys, in my opinion, are really good football players, but they are just like on a 52-man roster. These guys, in my opinion, wouldn't be like somebody who really gonna stand out. They are good players, but they not like somebody like who would be like the face of your franchise. And and I think like as a father, like Deion Sanders, I think he did a good job, and you can't be perfect. Nobody could take into account like people say, like privileged kids are softer than kids who come from like harder backgrounds. And I believe that's true. It's so hard to get a kid to have that type of dedication and that kind of focus unless they're really, really hungry for it. But if they're not concerned with where their next meal is coming from, if they're not concerned with, if they worried about like watches and cars and stuff like that, and all the distractions that come with being the sons of Deion Sanders and also having that opportunity to make all of that NIL money, then you're not going to get like the greatness out of these guys because they're not able to dig down deep inside of themselves and pull that greatness out. And I think the way that you pull that type of greatness out, where you see that greatness in different people, is it comes from tough times. And these guys did not, coming up, they didn't really experience tough times. I'm sure they had great coaches. Their father was, being the greatest coach that they could have ever had. But that hunger that it takes to be great comes from inside. And then you like I heard somebody say that poverty is the greatest motivator. And I think that's true. Most new millionaires and new billionaires and people with success, like most money is new money. Very, very few people it's just new money because of that hunger just keeps that next generation coming in and is going to move the next generation out. And I don't think Shador and Shiloh was able to tap into they're able to tap into like their greatness and stuff like that because of their upbringing. That's part of it. Number two, like I said, I don't think that coaches and managers and people in those organizations want to deal with kids who they don't really feel like they have leverage over. Like if you are a superstar or if you're a generational talent, then yeah, people will they'll take the time to get to know like what makes you tick, like what makes you motivated. And most of the time, like those guys who are superstars, they're self-motivated anyway. Right. And so, but if you're just like a number, like a regular guy on a 52 man roster, is not really the investment that they would have to put into a single player. Like number one, they don't have time. Number two, it wouldn't be worth it. And like from a coach's opinion, they always talk about coaching you up, but a lot of times they'll coaches will just rather get rid of a kid, get rid of a player than to try to coach them up and just bring somebody in, somebody who they think is probably better, or somebody who they don't, who seems like they're self-motivated. And so with these guys having options and coming in, from the background that they came from, that's what I think is hurting them. I don't even know like how long Shiloh or Shedeur will be in the league. You know, I'm not sure. I don't think Shedeur will be in the league for like 5 years or something like that. I think both of these guys will move on and do other things. And so yeah, that's all I wanted to say about Shedeur and Shiloh. Let me know what you think about what I said. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also leave a comment, and I'll check you all out in the next video.